Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my second live stream. Thanks so much for either hopping on now or hopping on later to watch this. Look at my hair sticking up there. That's so awesome. Just give you guys some time to hop on. So if you're just joining, if you have any questions, list the questions. List them. For me, they're down there, right there. But you guys can type your questions, and I will do my best to let you know the answer. Tom, how are you? Prince Albert. Did it get cold there again? This afternoon, I guess, last night here in Calgary, we had a cold front blow in, and it went from like +5, and then this morning when I got up, it was about -17, and then tonight it's supposed to get nice and warm again. So -38. Holy crap! Corey Kelly, good evening to you too. Thank you so much for hopping on. So the reason I decided to do this live, guys, is I guess two reasons. Number one reason, I posted that question on the chat and asked you guys if you wanted to do a live thing every week, 2 weeks, month, whatever. And the overlying consensus was every week. So it worked out well tonight. Josie Luna is right over there, sleeping in her bed. Oh, there's Olive right beside her. They're tired puppies tonight. So I had a great video planned tonight, guys. And so my wife, Katie, and my oldest daughter, Cadence, they needed to go to the airport tonight. They're flying to Vegas. Their plane leaves in like 5 minutes. Hey, Cheyenne, how are you? Anyways, so my shift tonight was from 4:15 till 8:15. And we had to leave the house at about 4:30. So got home, got everything ready, did the intro to my video, and put them in the vehicle, drove up north to the airport because I live in the south part of Calgary if you're not from Calgary, and then the airport's all the way in the north. And got to the north, dropped them off. It was about 5:30ish maybe when I got there. So we left a little bit later. And when I got there, dropped them off, unpaused my shift or whatever, and it came up with that little note saying you're way too far out of your zone to get orders. So that kind of stunk. So basically I drove all the way back south, and I was still north of my zone, and I got this terrible McDonald's order offer, which I declined. I think it was $5.33, and it was like 13 or 14 kilometers. And I just kept driving south, got home at about 6 o'clock, and right now it's 7:04, and waited for an hour, still didn't get an order, and I just ended my shift before I started this live video. So brutally slow here in Calgary. Now, it definitely didn't help that my acceptance rating was at 50%. So I'm not doing so good in the acceptance rating department, but still refusing to do crappy orders. Josie, question for you, I guess, and everybody here, are you guys accepting every order, or are you being picky with the orders? I guess I kind of waffle. Some nights I'm just like, whatever, I'll just do whatever order pops up. And then some nights I'm like, screw that. If it's not $1 per kilometer, I'm not doing it. So I'd like to know what you guys, what you're doing. Where's your acceptance rating sitting at? I mean, sometimes it's really easy to keep it at 80% or above. And sometimes you can get order after order of terrible orders. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, post them. And whether they're skip related, whatever. Where's Luna? Here, I'll show you where Luna is. Where's Luna? Oh, there she is. See her right there? Luna. Oh, she's out. She is tired. All right. So Tom, I got 6 orders in 2 hours for 45 bucks. That's pretty good. I'm at 90%. Could have had 7, but I turned down one that was from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. Drunk Canuck beer review. How are ya? Still cherry picking orders. I don't take anything less than $1 per kilometer, 50% to 60%. Yeah. Yeah, not bad for being minus 38 out, that's for sure. It's definitely the colder it gets, the busier it is around here too. I'm excited about Friday, guys. Valentine's Day, obviously. So my wife is gone for Valentine's Day, which is perfect because I've got 2 skip shifts. I'm just opening my app here and seeing what my shifts are for Friday. So I'm suspecting that it's going to be a busy shift. So you can see my shift for tonight. It's still there saying, please start. Let's see. Yeah, so Friday is 4:15. I can't read that backwards. 4:15 to 7:45, 8:15 to 11:15. So should be a good night. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we all make a ton of money. That would be great. Josie, still being selective, but I'm usually lucky in that I find in my zone it's easier to get onto DoorDash. Yeah, totally agree. So my DoorDash zones, guys, is there's the DoorDash zones in Calgary. Ooh, that's not going to work. Oh, there we go. Maybe you guys can see it. Anyways, I've shown you guys in the videos before. The central zone is definitely a lot busier than the southern zones for us, anyways. So, Josie, I like your suggestion. Log back in and see if we get something while I'm live with you. All right. So shift has been started. Oh, I got to turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. Okay. Matching you to orders. There we go. So let's see what happens. I will turn my volume up. You guys should hear it if it happens. And we'll see. I bet you guys, I don't get a single thing. So my shift goes till 8:15. We'll see what happens, but I don't think I'm going to get anything. Cheyenne, I go by your $1 per kilometer rule, but being in a smaller town, I don't have to go too far, so it works most of the time. Yeah. And I've talked about this before too. Like there's some instances where if I'm stuck somewhere, it just doesn't make sense. So I'd accept any order that's going back to my house area. I wouldn't be picky about that for sure. Corey had an order come up for DoorDash that wanted me to drive 34 kilometers for 12 bucks. Brutal. Broken Neck Radio, hello. You're on shift at the moment. Awesome. Obviously, it's not busy because you're on here. Maybe it is busy, but thanks for popping on. Yeah, that's funny. I don't remember when it was, but Corey, there was that one order. It must have been when I first started doing DoorDash, I think. And it wanted me to go all the way to the far northwest of Calgary. And it would have been like a 45 or 55 kilometer drive. And I think it was $25. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like 12 bucks, but yeah, those are pretty crazy orders. I don't remember where it was from, but I'm assuming it must have been a really specific restaurant that there was maybe only one in Calgary. I have no idea. All right, Josie. $1 per kilometer is good, except that's if it's a DoorDash order that takes you out of the zone. Remember that you have to deadhead back. So in cases like that, decline anything under $2 per kilometer. That's a good point for sure. If you guys are in Calgary, this will kind of make sense. And again, I've talked about it and shown this in my videos as well. We kind of in the south part of Calgary, we kind of have this weird little area. It's Deer Run. I forget the other areas that are down in that area, but basically it's Deer Run, Deer Ridge, something like that. And it's like surrounded. So if it's like in the middle of my head, it's surrounded by Fish Creek or by parkland, like parks. So for us in the south here to get to Deer Ridge, like it's actually you have to drive up and then over and then back down to get to where the Deer Run, Deer Ridge area is, and then and then getting back home. There's usually not a lot of orders in that area, so you'll be getting back home. And Josie makes a great point. If it took you 15 kilometers to get there, it's going to take you maybe 15 to get back home, maybe 8 kilometers before you get another order. So you have to factor that in as well too. Broken Neck Radio, people need to wear clothes when answering the door. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Especially if, maybe I shouldn't say anything, but yes, they do. Gosh, I still remember that one girl that answered and she was in like a lingerie thing. It's crazy what people do. It's definitely crazy. It's I've never had anybody I've never had anybody answer naked, but she was definitely the closest to being there, and it was very, very shocking. That's as much about it as I'm going to say. So, all right, guys, just got an offer, $15.50 for 5 kilometers. Yeah, take it. That's a wicked order. And look, well, still got nothing. Still matching me to orders. Sad. Wednesday, definitely. I know in the last video, I think it might have been Josie that said Wednesdays is kind of lame around Calgary. Yes, Wednesdays are definitely lame. I also find Mondays not so great as well. I don't take orders that take me outside the zone I'm signed in. This one basically wanted me to do a big loop from the Evergreen area all the way to 130th and then back to Shaughnessy. Yikes. Yeah, that's from the Evergreen area all the way to, so Corey Kelly, you were in Shaughnessy or Evergreen, driving to 130th to pick up the food and then going all the way back to the Shaughnessy area. Yeah, that sounds pretty typical. It's definitely, I've had those as well. We've all had our share of those for sure. Funny orders. Starries, hello, currently. Hi, guys. Thanks for popping on. Hopefully everybody's having a great Wednesday. What else can I tell you? I don't know. Don't know what else to say. Josie, depends on the zone you're in. Central on Mondays is usually great, but I've worked your zone on Mondays, and yeah, it blows down there on Mondays. Wednesdays sucks everywhere. True. So my intention tonight, guys, if you are just hopping on, I actually had to drive my wife and my oldest daughter to the airport to catch a plane to Vegas. Cadence, my oldest daughter, is going there for volleyball for a week. And so my intention tonight was to, from the south part of Calgary, drive them all the way to the north and then hopefully pick up some orders in the north just to give that a try again, even though that area kind of stinks. But once I got up there, it gave me that little yellow notification saying you are way too far outside your zone to get any orders. And I had to drive all the way back south. So kind of failed tonight. No video. I'm not gonna make a video about that stuff because it was pretty lame. It's the intro to the video and then me driving back south again. And now we're sitting here and I haven't got an order. So sometimes my intentions are good, but sometimes they're not video worthy. That's for sure. With the weather we've been having, have you been getting in some plane flying? No. So where I live in the south part of Calgary, we do most of our flying. So if you guys don't know this, I've got another channel, The Lighter Side of Us, and that's kind of my plane stuff. And basically I fly mostly model turbine aircraft, so miniature jets. Like if you're familiar with the snowbirds, I've got a snowbird that's a quarter scale. So anyways, we fly about 20 minutes east of where I live, and there's a farmer out there that we're friends with, and he's got a runway that he flies his crop planes from. And basically this time of year, unless we get a real long stretch of warm weather, it'll stay covered in snow until springtime. I mean, there has been times, if I go through my pictures, there's been times in December, January, February where we've been out there flying, but we need a good batch of warm weather in order for that to happen. So right now it's just building season and putting together planes for people, and that's what I like doing for fun. They pay me to do it, but it's also fun. So what do you think about the new advertising rule in Canada where if you are promoting a product, you are required to state it is a paid promotion? You know, I haven't, on my channel, I haven't run into that. Nobody's approached me for that. It's obviously, I don't think, big enough yet. So I don't really know the effect that it has, other than maybe is there a notification that pops up if somebody's watching your video? Because I'm not entirely sure exactly what happens with that, but I have seen, like as I'm going through the video making process, there's that section in the video where it asks, is this a paid promotion or whatever for a product? So I'm not entirely sure how it's going to affect us, if it affects us, how it affects the video, how it affects the promotions and things like that. But I know some of the other channels that I watch, everybody says it anyways. Like today, this, as an example, the Stradman that I watch all of his videos, and a lot of his videos are sponsored by the company that does his home security or whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called, but he'll state that in the video, and I've heard other people state it as well too. So I don't think it's a big deal. But Cheyenne, yes, I wish I was going to Vegas too. I asked Katie before she left tonight. I'm like, so what's the weather like down there? And she's like, well, overnight it's 7 degrees overnight, which isn't great. But I'm sure during the day it's going to be 15 to 20. So don't know. Actually, let's check. Let's check and see what it looks like. Still no orders, guys. All right, let's look up Vegas and see what she has to look forward to. I think I've got it saved on my thing. No, I need to add a location. That's a pain. I'm sure it's going to be 20 degrees for her and nice and warm. Broken Neck Radio, BBL pickup time. I don't know what that is. Is that a question or a statement? You're not promoting a product, you're just talking about it. Slight important difference. Yes. Ralph, if shaving the beard is a sign that winter will end early. No, I hope it is, but honestly, it gets to the point where I'm just done with it. I was actually almost shaved it off before Cuba. And then when we got home from Cuba, middle of January, I think we got home on a Saturday, and Sunday I was going to shave it off. And Katie's like, you can't shave it off. You'll have a white tan line on your face. I was like, dang it. So I think I waited another week, something like that. And then I shaved it off, and I haven't actually shaved, like shaved yet. I've just taken my trimmer thing and trimmed it so I have the stubble on there, but you can see it's like white compared to my face. So, oh well, need to get outside some more. John's beard equals spring's coming early. Yeah, does it mean I need to grow it back, or if I shave it off, it's coming early? Activated. For me, I actually never even remember specifically the background check in my process. Like basically I did the online application. They sent me an email. I called them, or they called me, one of the two. They did the interview process, which was like 15 minutes of asking me questions. I think it was even less than that. It might've been 5 or 10 minutes. And then I gave her my credit card and paid for the bags. And anytime I went on the Google document that they have where you can pick up the bags, the one closest to my office was always out of stock. So I actually put it off for about a week or two. And then they ended up calling me, like Skip the Dishes called me and said, hey, are you going to get started? And I said, yeah, for sure. And then I went over there. I think it was the Brass and Bull pub on 32nd or something like that. And I picked up my bags, called them as soon as I picked my bags up, and then I was able to schedule shifts. So I don't actually ever remember waiting for the background check or even it being part of the process. So I can't honestly answer that, but yeah. So once I picked my bags up and called them, because that was part of the process, they said, go there, tell them you're picking up their bags. And I think the people at the restaurant needed to call. And then I got outside, I called the lady back, and that was it. My account was like activated like that. So it was a quick process for me. With DoorDash, I know you didn't ask about it, but with DoorDash, I had to go to the orientation thing downtown Calgary. So can you share some of your experiences on how it's like to be a part owner of a gym? Sure. Oh my gosh. So I'll be open and honest about this, guys. That's actually one of the reasons why I started doing Skip the Dishes. So in my video that I did a couple videos ago about why I started doing Skip the Dishes, I kind of left this part out. And so basically what I said in the video was, in January, things get expensive and there's lots of bills that pop up. But one of the downsides of owning the gym is obviously keeping it running, right? So the gym that we bought, and if you're part of the Facebook group, you can find me on Facebook and you can see what gym I own and that kind of stuff. The problem with the gym that we bought, and I'll try and do this in a brief note or a brief manner so it's not dragging on. But basically, in I think it was 2017, we bought a franchise. So me and Katie and our friends bought a franchise, and we had a territory, and we couldn't open up in the territory because there was no real estate. So about a year went by, and what happened was we got notification from one of the gym owners in the franchise that she was looking at selling. So we ended up meeting with her and striking the deal up. She had that location for must have been about 3-ish years. And when we took it over from her, it was not making money. It was not breaking even. She was having to pay into it every month. So basically, we struck up a deal with her. She stayed on with us for a year to help out, training classes and things like that. We took it over, and we always kind of if that black line right there is the break-even point where you're not having to invest any more money, this is where we took it over. And we kind of would get up to here and like this. And for the past 2 years, we've been hovering under that line. So what's it like? Financially, it sucks. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Financially, it sucks. It's rough. If you have a month where you need to make payroll and you need to fork out $1,000, $2,000, whatever the number might be, you got to find that money somewhere. So that is one of the primary reasons why I started doing Skip the Dishes, is just finding that extra money to support my family, and also to make payroll in the gym and to pay the bills, right? So financially, it sucks sometimes, but emotionally, spiritually, I guess if you want to say that, it is awesome. I mean, going there every day, and I generally go there and work out all the time, but going there every day and just seeing the members progress and get better and get stronger, that's definitely one of the really rewarding things. I can think of right now off the top of my head, in the past 3 months, more than 10, 15 members that when they first started coming, and most of our clientele are ladies, when they first started coming, they couldn't do a sit-up, they couldn't do a squat, they couldn't do something like that. And 3, 4, 5 weeks go by, and now they're doing all those things, right? So that is very, very rewarding. So it's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And just like owning any business, it it can be pretty stressful sometimes and put a lot of stress on relationships, whether it be with your spouse or with friends. So that's the nutshell version, and it's tough sometimes. So Ryan's Delivery TV, if you have any other questions regarding that, just list them and I'll do my best to answer them. Ryan's Delivery TV, what's up tonight? Never had to do a background check. Yeah, I don't remember doing mine either. I don't remember filling out a form or anything like that for a background check. So Starries, how's Luna doing? She's good. She's, I'll show you guys. She's like, sorry, our house is a disaster. That's what happens when your wife goes away and the kids are home. There she is. Luna, hi. And she doesn't fit in her bed anymore. No, she's good. She's tired. I was going to take her to the dog park tonight, but we'll see what happens. Quick comparison of whose bags are better, DoorDash or Skip. Oh my gosh. The Skip bags are, if you guys just drive for DoorDash or if you just drive for Skip the Dishes, you may not know this, but the Skip bag in my mind is like, it's 10 times better than the DoorDash bags. The Skip bag is amazing. The foil on the inside, the divider, it's awesome. The DoorDash bags, like, so when you sign up for DoorDash, they give you that little, I don't have them here, they're in the car, but the little fabric bag, it's almost like a shopping bag, right? When you go to Sobeys or whatever, or any of the grocery stores, you can get those fabric shopping bags. That's what it's like, but it's like this thick, right? It's like the thickness of an Apple cable. And you better not want to have hot food because it doesn't work very well. And then you get the massive DoorDash bag, which is fine, but it's like fabric on the inside, fabric on the outside, and then there's a layer of foam or something throughout it. And without that foil that the Skip bag has, it definitely does not work very well. So Skip bag is way better. DoorDash bags, thumbs down. Let's see here. Have you ever had a delivery failure through no fault of your own where you get to eat the food? Yeah, there's been, I think my most memorable one, probably my only one, was that A&W order. There's a video with me going like this behind all the A&W food. That was really probably the one. And what happened there, and if you haven't watched the video, you can watch it. But what happened there was I went to A&W, picked up this order. It was a massive order. Like, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 hamburgers, a whole bunch of orders of fries. There was multiple pops, tons of stuff. And I went and picked it up. It just fit in my Skip bag, got to the people's address, and it was the right address, right people, but they didn't place the order. So when I got to the door, I'm like, hey, I'm here with your Skip order. And she looked very, very confused. And she's like, we didn't order that. And I said, well, is your address this? Yeah. And your name's this? Yeah. I'm like, okay. So you didn't order this? She's like, we didn't order that. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I think that was the very first time that I ever had that happen. So I ended up driving around for a while with that food and then brought it home, and it was cold by that time. I should have eaten it, but I didn't know any better at the time. So other than that, I don't think there's been anything. Yeah, there really hasn't been any other ones that I can remember of. So Josie, I skip dash full-time for main income, but find it rewarding. Apart from the money, what would you consider to be the most rewarding aspect of skip dashing? There's a couple things for me that I find rewarding with this, like, but yeah, and apart from the money, I mean, the money is probably the least rewarding of it all, so we won't even talk about that. But number one, I like driving sometimes when it's on my own accord. So I like driving, but there's many other things too. Like, I like finding the new restaurants. especially when I first started this and I was going to all these restaurants that I had no idea even existed, right? So that's probably a nice thing with it as well too. I do like being around people and I guess interacting with people. So that's been a fun part of it. But also the primary thing for me has been creating the videos. So my personality is I need to be creating things on a regular basis. And my wife knows this. So that's why I've got my other channel where, sometimes I just need to go in the garage and I just need to work on either my planes or somebody else's planes and just put them together. And there'd be times in previous years before I started doing my YouTube videos where I would struggle with things to do in the wintertime and I would go absolutely nuts and I wouldn't be a very happy person to be around. So this has really helped me to maintain more of an even keel and just be more level-headed and have that creative outlet, which is important for my personality and who I am. So skip full-time. Yeah, Josie, you've been doing this for a long time, full-time. Gets you out of the house when you need to get out. True. I've got a house full of women. I think the only thing that are males in our house is our 2 cats. Everything else is female. Our 2 dogs, our bird right up there. My wife, obviously, 3 daughters, everything is female. So yes, it does get me out of the house too. How common is it where one platform's busy and the other no orders coming in at all? I find it quite common, actually. There's times when both are busy, like the 2 that I do, so Skip the Dishes and DoorDash. But there are definitely times where I can be doing DoorDash an entire night and do great, and Skip, I don't hardly get any orders or the orders suck. So I think it's more common than not. And what I kind of attest it to is the advertising. If you've signed up for DoorDash and Skip the Dishes to be a customer, there'll be weeks where Skip might send out 1, 2, or 3 advertising emails, or you hear them on the radio, and they seem to be pushing really, really hard. I think you can pretty much bet on that week or that day, whatever it might be, to be very, very busy. And I haven't really ever seen DoorDash ads. I think I might have heard them on the radio, but I don't remember any DoorDash ads. But I definitely have found that when Skip releases their advertisements, it's usually busier. Josie, have you ever decided to try a restaurant that you've never tried before because it seems really popular with customers? I've never tried, what's that, Janine's Pizza? I've never tried that. But yes, I have done that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Calgary, obviously. It's on McLeod Trail and Southland Drive. And I picked up there during that blizzard episode last year. That was over 3 different episodes. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a pizzeria place. And it's in the building that used to be Red Robin's. Anyways, we tried that place a couple weeks ago and it was awesome. So yeah, definitely have tried a few places. Also, we went to the Avenida Farmers Market a couple weeks back now, and we went there to eat as well too. And I did a pickup in there. I can't remember the restaurant I picked up at, but I had no idea that the Avenida Market was even there. So, and I guess that's when I said it's rewarding to find all these new restaurants. Yeah, that's some examples of that for sure. You're such a busy guy. When do you sleep? That's funny. The guy that I built a couple planes for this past winter, that's what he says to me all the time too. So I only sleep about 6 hours a night, and that's kind of my number. So I'm usually in bed by midnight, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock's more normal, and I'm usually up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. So PZA, yeah, that's it. Thank you. Best advice to drivers if they want a Kessel run. Don't be dumb about it. If you guys are thinking about doing Kessel runs, so Kessel runs, if you don't know what it is it's like multi-apping, right? So it's being on Skip the Dishes and DoorDash at the same time. You get an order from Skip the Dishes, you go to McDonald's, terrible example. But you go to McDonald's to pick up your order on 130th, and then you get an order from Edo Japan, which is right next door. So you walk over and the Edo Japan order from DoorDash is ready to go. And then both the delivery houses or the delivery areas are within a minute or two from each other. That would be a great Kessel Run. Have I made mistakes with it? Yes, definitely made mistakes with it. Don't be greedy with Kessel Runs. Don't be greedy with multi-apping because it can piss off customers, and you'll see your number in DoorDash go down really quick. So definitely be smart about it, and make sure you decline the orders if they don't work. You have to be quick on the ball. I know Josie uses 2 phones, which I think is really, really smart. I have 2 phones, but I've only ever used my personal cell phone for it, and still no orders, guys. By the way, I'm logged into Skip the Dishes right now. But two phones would be awesome, I think. And I struggle with Kessel Runs now because I like to accept the order and just kind of zone out and drive and listen to music. I do tend to pause my other app when I do get an order, but there are times when I'll leave it on. I don't like to leave the Skip app on because I don't want my acceptance rating to drop too low. So Connor Anderson, howdy. PZA Parlor, yes, thank you. I want to make Skip the Dishes video blogs like you, but not sure what to record with. I have never edited videos before. So guys, start with your phone. If you're thinking about doing this, Connor, just start using your phone. It's better than not starting. And I covered this in my 1,000 subscriber video that I just released. Start. That's it. Number 1 advice, start with whatever you have. If you have a phone, use it. If you have an Apple phone, even better, an Apple computer. I use iMovie to edit all my videos, and it works really, really well. There's a lot of little intricate things with iMovie that it's really good to do some research with it and figure out how to work it, because there's things that happen in iMovie. There's things you can do in iMovie that and this is kind of an Apple thing, that don't really make sense. Like with an Apple phone, if you don't know that you swipe up from the bottom on the new phones, then you'll have no idea how to do things, right? Just little things like that. So you might put your mouse in a certain spot or your cursor in a certain spot and things happen. That's what I mean. But so those are the simplest things. If you don't have iMovie, I don't have any other suggestions because that's all I've ever used to edit videos. But I'm sure there's got to be other options out there. So anyways, that's what I use. Now I use a GoPro. So I only use my phone for a little bit. I had the GoPro for a long time, but and I will be, as I discussed in my last video, now that we've got monetization funds coming in, woohoo! I will be saving that and putting that towards a camera, a nicer camera. I'm not sure what I'm going to get yet. Have to do some research, but that's going to be in the works. And I still like the GoPro though, because it's easy to mount in the car and a little bit more durable. So let's see. But yeah, again, my best suggestion, number 1, get started. Number 2, be consistent with it. If you're going to do it, at least do it once per week, release a video, and more if you can. So in my market, DoorDash and Grub South were established, and Waiter launched. They put a lot of commercials out, but now it seems Waiter has left my market, and I guess my area was used to DoorDash and Grub South. Yeah, and that's a great example because you see things ebb and flow, and that's really what life is about, guys. Is you have to be able to modify and change the way you do things, because if you're going to stay stagnant, if you're only going to do one app, you may find that app has a lot more ups and downs. So that's why multi-apping is a really, really good idea. Not to mention, if you're caught, you can get suspended, policy violations. True. I know that was Ryan's Deliveries TV. That was referring to accepting 2 orders at the same time. Now, One thing with that though is, as we all know, if you've watched my channel for a while, Skip the Dishes watches my videos. I don't know how often they watch them, but they watch them. And so they know I'm multi-apping, and they've seen me. I'm assuming they've seen me do multiple orders at the same time before, and I've never been in trouble for that. I have been in trouble for using people's names and saying they live at number 12 in Auburn Bay when there's like 50 number 12s. But anyways, Connor, I have 3 jobs, and of course, one job schedules me during Skip the Dishes shifts. So I have to give it up, and someone took it when I went on to the open shifts. Yeah, that happens for sure. Josie, have you had many orders that you could complete entirely on foot? If you're parked somewhere, get an order from a nearby restaurant, going so close that you can just leave your car parked. Not a lot of them, and I think you probably get more of that because you're in the core, in the downtown area. I think the only one I really remember with that is it was on 130th. I picked up, I think it was Pizza 73, and I was delivering to like the massage parlor in the same parking lot as Pizza 73. So have not had a lot of those. They're definitely awesome when they happen because it doesn't get much easier than that. Connor, I did Skip the Dishes with my dad today. It's fun, isn't it? Those the videos I did with Katie, I think there was the one where we delivered together. It was super efficient. Like having her drive and like pull up in front of the location. I'd hop out, go in and get the food. She'd do a loop around the parking lot if we're in like a multi-parking lot. And she'd be there, pick me up. It was really, really, really fast and efficient. I actually liked it. It's nice to have company sometimes too. Let's see here. Josie said, just to clarify, while I do use 2 phones, I only have 1 subscription. I put the main one on for hotspot and use the Wi-Fi on the other. Yes, that is right. I remember that. Well, Connor, you need to get your GoPro back from your sister. Josie said, have you ever considered adding a 3rd app, Foodora or something like that? Yes. I actually started my Uber Eats application again, and then it got stalled because I need to get a driving abstract. And that's another thing that I didn't have to do with Skip the Dishes. It kind of sucked. So let's see here. I'm just opening up my Uber app. Safety and respect for all. Yes, I understand that. Oh, weird. Uber Eats, maybe that's the one. Oh, weird. I don't have the Uber app on my phone anymore. Anyways, I went online and started my Uber application again, and I needed to get a driving abstract. So I don't ever remember getting a driving abstract. I think I just have to go to the registry and pay the money to get the driving abstract. I think it's $20. I believe so. If anybody knows, please comment. So that's what I have to do, and then upload my new registration and things like that. So yes, I'm planning on adding a 3rd one. It's probably going to be Uber Eats just because I've already started the process, and that I'd also like to try out the Instant Cart or Instacart, whatever it's called. So that's in the works for February. I have some things going on in my life in actually the gym side of things, which we need to get sorted out in the next week or 2. But yeah, that's definitely planning on doing that. Contradiction then, you don't ever mention the customer's name or address. No, I'm not allowed to. Skip the Dishes got mad at me and sent me a very forward email stating I'm not allowed to do that, along with other things. Connor Anderson, my last morning shift was terrible. I started at 10 a.m. Did not get a single order till noon. Yeah, that happens. Definitely happens. I remember doing one morning shift and it was terrible. I definitely would not do a morning shift again. I think I did a couple Saturday morning shift, but this one was during the week. I didn't have to go into work till later that day, so I did a morning shift. Tom Provost, what restaurant do you think gets the most orders in your city besides McDonald's? It's pretty evenly split in my area. There'll be some nights where I'll get a ton of orders from the same restaurant, and then I won't get those orders again from that, or I won't get an order from that restaurant again for weeks. Like Canadian Brew House right close to my house is a great example. There's been a couple shifts where I've gotten maybe like 4 to 6 orders from the brew house that night, and then I won't get an order from them in a week or two after that. So it's I find it very scattered and very up and down. So it's really, really evenly spaced for the restaurants in my area. So it's an old GoPro my dad found while he was jogging in the park. Mine's not very new either. I think it's a GoPro Hero. It's the one with the screen on the back and the little screen on the front. I can't remember what model it is, but it still works. I hardly ever used it for the first 3 years that we had it. So, other than McDonald's on 130th, name a few other restaurants that suck to pick up from. Oh my gosh. And a few that are consistently great. Yes. So a few that suck to pick up from first. Montana's is one. The reason Montana sucks is because generally the orders are never ready. That's one of my primary ones, although they have been getting better. So McDonald's, of course, other than McDonald's, anything on 130th during rush hour, so from like 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock, I will generally decline. And if you guys are watching this and you are not from Calgary, our roads in Calgary are terrible. If you're from the US, you have good roads. If you're from Canada, our roads are terrible. 130th is this massive shopping plaza, and there is basically one road that feeds the entire shopping plaza. So if you have to go there, and it's like some roads you can't turn one way, you have to turn in and loop around and go across, and it's just brutal. So any restaurant on 130th between 4 and 6 p.m. during the week, I will generally decline unless it's a bad order. Most other places have been really good lately. Yeah, I haven't really had any terrible orders for a long time. McDonald's has been really the one on the top of the list. Good orders to pick up from. I love picking up from that Josie. You'll remember this one, the place on McIver Boulevard. I don't know why I can't remember it. It's like it's the Vietnamese place on McIver Boulevard. You guys will comment in. I love picking up from them. They're always happy. Yeah, there's generally been, most of the restaurants in my area have been really good lately. There hasn't been a lot of bad orders. So in BC, get your abstract online for free. Yes, you guys in BC are lucky in many, many ways, and not so lucky in many, many ways. Our gas right now is 90 cents a liter. And I think you guys are paying like $1.50, $1.40. There was a place close in the south here that was actually, they put a discount on I think it was Monday, 30 cent per liter discount till 11 a.m. So gas was like 60 cents a liter until 11 a.m. It was awesome. I didn't get any, but I heard about it. So you'll need a driver's abstract for Instacart. Perfect. I should probably just go get that done. But then Ryan's Deliveries TV said they never asked for mine with Instacart. Yeah, so we'll see. Craziest skip the dishes story. Oh gosh. Craziest skip the dishes story. The first one that comes to mind is that blizzard we had last year that I made 3 videos out of. I can't remember the total that I finished that night with. I think it was like $200 and something in a 6-ish hour shift. But that night was absolutely insane. We got pounded with snow. There was accidents all over the place. The craziest part about that night was driving south, just on the south edge of Calgary. There's a community called Lake Chaparral, and I was on McLeod Trail waiting to turn left into the community, and the light was broken. It wasn't registering the cars or whatever happens. And we sat there at the turning light, and the turning light was 2 lanes, right? So 1 lane in the left, 1 lane in the right, and there was a lineup of cars, and I was I think maybe 5 cars back from the front, and people are honking, and I'm on my horn, and this is all captured in the video if you guys want to see it. Honking the horn. We waited there for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and I finally got out of the vehicle. I walked up to the very, very front car, and the lady was like panic mode. She probably thought I was going to lose my mind on her, which I did. But she rolled down her window. I'm like, the light's not going to turn. You need to just go. She's like, I can't just go. It's red. I can't just go. I'm like, just go. Get out of the way. Let us by. And as I'm walking back to my vehicle, she finally decided to go. So that night was insane. It was so much fun. Made so much money that night. It was great. Loved it. Why do you think it is that nearly every single time you park at the brew house, you get the exact same parking spot right in front of the door? Law of attraction. Law of attraction. If you guys don't know what the law of attraction is, read the book. I don't know why I'm lucky enough to get that parking spot, but I chalk it up to law of attraction. The book's called The Secret. If you've never listened to The Secret, or read The Secret, read it, listen to it. It's fun. You'll have to open up your mind a little bit to understand it, but it's something I firmly believe in. Well, I strongly believe in, and it's kind of fun to play with things like that. So, yeah, that's my little plug for the book. That's the only thing I needed to get, and they never got around to it, so they deactivated my account. Yes. Oh, Josie, thank you. I'm assuming you're sharing the video about the blizzard. Oh my gosh, that night was insane. That was so much fun. And then the other crazy thing was, and I talked a little bit about this at the beginning of this live, guys, was that lady that answered in lingerie. Like, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nuts. I need all new tires, all weather or all season? All weather. That's my vote. They're not going to last as long. Like the set I got, I think in April for the little white car, they're probably 50% worn already. I don't know how many kilometers I drove because I haven't done my spreadsheet with my taxes yet. But yeah, the all-weathers aren't going to last as long, but in snow, they're definitely better than all season. If you have a 4x4, like our 4x4, the Armada, I just put whatever on there. Like I've got 4, I think they're all season tires. I don't know. But with the 2-wheel drive vehicle, yeah, the all-weather are better. I'm not a fan of snow tires. Don't hate me, but I'm just not a fan of snow tires. I've never owned snow tires. Don't ever plan on owning snow tires. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. Yeah, see, Ryan, just get winters. Disagree. My suggestion, learn to drive. I know that's going to be harsh, guys. Just learn to drive. Don't hate me. All right. Holy crap, 54 minutes already. Wow. That's awesome. So I need to go in 6 minutes, guys. I got to go pick the kids up from dance. Any last questions? Boo. Come on. Don't hate. Boo. I know. Winters are nice. I just don't want to spend the money. Honestly, I'm cheap. I don't want to have like $1,000 tied up in a set of tires. I'll just buy new tires every couple of years. So, yeah, I'm cheap when it comes to that stuff, really is what it comes down to. So what else? Any other final questions, guys? This has been a ton of fun. Ton of fun. Dun, dun, dun. Out here, it's going to be mandatory next year to have winters. I just get used ones. Yes. You know, as our society changes, I'm sure that our choices are going to disappear. That's really the way things are happening. I don't need to get into a ton of detail about that, but you know, as I just turned 40 this past year. As I get older, it becomes more and more apparent that I am getting older, and I feel really bad for the younger generations, but they're strong people, strong kids. So Josie said, finish off with telling us about the highlights from Cuba. Absolutely. Thank you. Damn, I'm young. 40 is pretty old, man. I remember like, just like that, I was 30. So here, sticking up there. Yeah. Okay. Highlights from Cuba. If you guys haven't watched my videos on my other channel, Lighter Side of Us, I did vlog all my Cuba videos. So Cuba was so much fun. And I know that's just a simple thing to say, but we've been to Mexico, I think about 10-ish times. And Mexico, absolutely love it. We've been to multiple parts in Mexico. And the last, I think 5 times we've been there, we've always gone to Cabo. So San Jose del Cabo, not Cabo San Lucas, but we spend time in Cabo San Lucas. So love Mexico. It's fun, but there's always that underlying tension. And if you've been there, you may know this, and it's not so bad in Cabo, but it's more apparent when you go to places like all the other popular areas, and especially Cancun. You know, you'll see the guys walking around with machine guns. Cabo, you don't really see that. So, but we like Mexico. We feel safe there, and we feel safe in Cabo. But when we went to Cuba, it's just got a totally different feeling. Now I know it's a socialist / communist country, so that has something to play, or that has something to do with it. But yeah, Cuba was, you just kind of generally feel good about the people all the time. And I think what it is talking to our taxi driver that took us into Havana for the day. Learned a ton of information from him. But basically, you know, if anybody down in Cuba harms or hurts a tourist, they're basically going to jail. And whatever happens to them happens to them. So the people have a really, really great respect for the visitors. There's a lot less new U.S. influence in Cuba. So there's obviously the antique stuff. You know, it's almost like a time warp. When you go there and go to like downtown Havana, it's almost like you feel like you're in the Jetsons. That's what Katie said to me. She's like, this feels like we're watching an episode of Jetsons, the cartoon from when we were kids, if you're my age. You know, the houses are kind of old, but they've got that futuristic look. But the people are awesome. Cheyenne said, "How I heard the food is terrible." Our resort was awesome. Now, we were not staying at an amazing 5-star resort. Our resort was a 4-star resort, and in Cuba, you really have to subtract one of the stars. So you could call our resort a 3-star resort, but it was great. It was clean. It was fairly dated, but our food was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Now, when we went on the Jeep tour, the people we were with, Mike and I can't remember her name, they were telling us about their hotel, and I think it was a lower star rating, but they were not so happy with the food. So I think it really depends on where you're staying. Now, all the resorts and anything to do with tourism is all government run, right? So keep that in mind. There's a lot of similarities between all the places, but some of the common conceptions that the food is terrible, we didn't find at all. We found it was amazing. The beaches, of course, are absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was great. So basically, love Cuba. Would want to go back there. Tom said, "Who gets the money when you buy a super sticker? You or YouTube?" I do, actually, which is cool. Oh, that brings up a good parting comment, guys. Is I'm gonna sign up for Patreon. I've seen a couple other YouTubers do that, and I'll put the link in my videos and stuff like that. But Patreon is just a way of supporting each other. You know, if you like my content, and this is my Cole's Notes version of it, but if you like my content, it's kind of like having your Netflix subscription. You know, you can say I want to donate $1 a month for the Lighter Side channel, which it comes right to me. So anyways, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, the super sticker, Tom, that comes to me. So yeah, so that's kind of the parting remarks, guys. Love Cuba. If you ever get a chance to go there, definitely go there. It was tons of fun. And I'm sad that my kids weren't with us, but we also had a great time just hanging out together. You know, we haven't done a vacation like that since, I think, our honeymoon. You know, any other time we've gone anywhere warm, the kids have been with us. So it was a nice vacation. We just got to spend time with the two of us, and we vlogged it all, which was fun too. So anyways, guys, I got to take off. So thank you so much for hopping on the chat. Tons of fun. I love doing these things. It's fun being interactive with you guys. And yeah, it's fun reading the comments and answering all the questions. So maybe we'll make this kind of a Wednesday tradition. Wednesdays kind of work out good. If we're going to do this next Wednesday, it's going to be a little bit later, probably around 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock, something like that. So anyways, we'll see how things work out. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Have a great day, great evening, wherever and whenever you're watching this. And we will see you next time. Adios.